Hello and welcome to the Real Biz Life Chronicles, where we discuss all things business, branding, and life. I'm your host, Tracy Fryer. Now, if you do enjoy this episode, we please ask that you like and subscribe to our channel below. Today, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently in celebration of Design Studio Perth turning 4 years old on the 10th of July. We're also celebrating 6 months of the Real Biz Life Chronicles. Having said that, Rudy Smith, Design Studio Perth's head graphic designer, is going to be interviewing me today. And before we actually kick off, I just want to take a moment and celebrate Rudy. He is someone who always steps up to any challenge that I throw his way. I am sure that he has cursed my name a few times, but without fail and without doubt, he always steps up and embraces every challenge. And I am so proud of the person that he is, has stepped into since joining our team. So, Rudy, without further ado, over to you.
Thanks so much for that lovely intro, Tracy. So you're going to be in the hot seat today. I'll be asking you quite a few questions. Not any spicy questions, so don't worry about that, but all professional. And but first of all, I just want to say congratulations on DSP's 4 years. Absolutely fantastic. Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm going to put in a round of applause.
Yes.
Right. Are you ready for me to run through the questions?
Yeah, far away. I'm actually not seeing how it is on the other side, right? I'm my own guinea pig today.
Don't be nervous. Right. So I'm
Not nervous at all.
going to ask you quite a few questions, Tracy. Don't be nervous. Some will be professional, some will be more fun. But I think let's get the professional questions out of the way. Get the big old scoop from Tracy Fryer, businesswoman. Just righty. So
sounds good.
Let's start off with what drives Tracy Fryer to get out of bed in the morning, even on the toughest days?
So my personal mission in life is to show mediocrity the middle finger. And it really does help me on those days where I don't want to get out of bed, although I don't have many of those because I've been very blessed to create a life that I love. But especially on some of those tough days, I almost, I'm a bit relentless. I push myself. But yeah, just showing mediocrity the middle finger and knowing that my purpose is to help, my clients with their branding, to help my team, and also to look after my three fur babies as well.
Great answer. So let's start with some of the harder questions regarding branding and your business and being a businesswoman, right? So this is going to be a little bit of a loaded question, so bear with me.
Yeah, go for it.
Keep it interesting. So Tracy, tell us about your journey into the branding field and what inspired you to start your own business, and what have been the most rewarding aspects of running your own business?
Okay, so I've been a creative my entire life. My mom has a drawing that I did at 2 years old of spiders, of all things. I mean, things I can't even stand them now. And she loves to bring it out the family brides, the barbecues, and show everyone. But anyway, so that was where my creative journey kind of started. Throughout school, I always, did graphic design. I did art. If I was bunking a class, I was in the art class. Or bunking assembly. And mom, I didn't do that. I was always at assembly. So I've always been a creative, and that's one thing I love about my parents. They've always embraced me being a creative. They didn't try and push me into going to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case may be. They've always just really allowed that space for me to choose the career path that I wanted. So after school, I then studied visual arts. So I actually majored in jewelry design, contemporary jewelry design, and painting and drawing. And then after my degree, I flew with an airline for 2 years. And then when I moved over to Perth, I studied branding and graphic design. So throughout my career, I've worked as a jewelry designer, as a graphic designer, and a branding specialist. And then after COVID, I had a very big wake-up call. And, I think COVID really showed us that life can change in an instant. I wasn't earning, I was earning peanuts, really. And I just was deeply unhappy in what I was doing because I've always felt like my life has a bigger calling on it. And I've always had a side hustle from the age of 12. I used to sell my art. I used to sell fizz pops, lollipops, from like Macro, which is like a Costco. So I've always had this side hustle, for most of my life. And so after COVID, 10th of July 2020, started Design Studio Perth. And it has been one of the most profound and challenging journeys of my entire life. But I've absolutely loved it. And I love the people that I've met, and just the things that it's really taught me about myself. What was the second part of the question? Sorry, Rudy.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of running your own business?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's really helping our clients grow their business. We don't just give you a logo and say off you go. It's really helping them take their business to that next level. That's one aspect. The other rewarding thing of having my own business has been seeing my team grow and just developing, a team of creative A players that are just so highly skilled, and just seeing how they, like I said in the beginning of my interview, really, embrace any challenge that I send their way. And they just really are producing, stunning branding and design. And I'm not just saying that because they're on my team. So yeah, I think there is a few other things, but I think those are probably the most rewarding.
And I guess that's where the Design Studio Perth tagline also comes from: grow with distinction.
Yes, definitely. So that's our our mission. We want to really help our clients not just have a logo, not just have a website. Everyone seems to think when you start a business, you go straight, guns blazing to the website. And it's such a misconception. And there's not enough education for business owners that you need to start with your brand. A website is made up of your visual identity, your messaging framework. Who is it that you're serving? There's absolutely no point in having a website if you have no idea who it is that you're actually serving and how you solve their problems, and then
Yeah.
you need your photos and your video. And I find so many agencies, they give people this website that, they plucked colors from here and everywhere and how they're feeling on the day. And it just
Yeah.
really sets that business owner up not on the best foot. So grow with distinction, it means we create distinctive branding. We also showcase that business owner's journey. I mean, if someone's been in business for 40 years and they pull a logo of Canva, well, in some ways they're actually discounting that entire life experience and business journey that they've had. They haven't really created something that encapsulates who they are as a business and who their business actually is as well.
Exactly, and it's. I think what we talked about in a previous podcast is how important it is to do custom designs, deliver custom, unique designs to all our customers.
Yeah,
Super important.
definitely. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, we live in a digitally saturated market as such. So if if especially Canva, it's a very powerful app, but it's also an app that millions of people have access to. So if you've pulled your logo off there, and Jenny from the block has done the same, and Bob the builder also, you're not going to stand out. You're not going to get noticed, and there's also not the same thought criteria that's gone into creating that brand. Like, we really build brands that truly represent the business and represent that business owner as well.
yeah, and I guess now with AI, becoming so massive, it's quite scary for creatives. But I mean, at the end of the day, if we still put pen to paper, we still do the custom logos, which is essentially what you want. You want your logo to be super custom and drawn from scratch, and just be a special sort of design, and not something generated digitally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, AI serves its place, and it is more a productivity tool. Will it ever take over what humans can do? I'm not so sure about that. But especially, a brand is made up of your logo and your style guide, and then you've got your messaging framework, and then you've got your media, which is your photos, your videos. So again, it's, as a business owner, people have their area of expertise and doing what they love and what brings them joy. So I think at the
Yeah.
end of the day, they still need a human who can translate that into a visual language, because humans, a lot of us, it's mostly it's non-verbal. So visuals and our wording and that sort of thing that really would sell a product, sell a service as well. So they need someone to help them on that journey. And sometimes even briefing us is really challenging for them. So how are they going to brief AI?
Exactly, and that is just why they need to phone Tracy Fryer. I mean,
Well,
sometimes, obviously, in business, it's you've got to have a lot of confidence to start your own business and be a businesswoman like yourself. But tell me, how do you handle self-doubt and maintain confidence in your abilities?
yeah, so I think my confidence since I started my business has grown. Was I fully confident in what I wanted to do when I first started? Probably not. Confident and maybe start grabbing nuts. I don't know. But for me, I mean, self-doubt is a very real thing. And I think we're sometimes our own worst enemy. But what I do is I have a very structured morning routine. I actually check in with myself and I'll journal. And, if there's something that's triggered me the day before, or if something's gone really well, I'll actually sit and write about it, because I think so often a lot of us are just go, go, go the whole time. We get up, we straight on our laptop, we off to the dentist, we're over there, we're feeding the kids. We don't really make that time to really touch base with ourselves. But don't get me wrong, I mean, self-doubt still creeps up on me. I still have to catch myself. But what I've done for a while is that I have, and I hope I'm going to say this, I have I call it a wank bank, but it's more professional one, because what I do is I save all the beautiful messages that someone has sent me. I screenshot it, I save it on my phone, because during those hard times where you are doubting yourself and you think that you don't, why am I doing what I'm doing? It's really comforting to read over those messages. I probably need to give that a better name, but never mind. It's really comforting to read over those messages and just be reminded of the change that we are making in someone's life and business. I think we often overlook that.
100% true. And just having those set routines, like you mentioned, you have your morning routine. It's so important not to lose routine. For you, I think you mentioned meditating as well.
I do, yeah. So I'll usually wake up. I've got a prayer book that I'll read a verse out of. It's got like daily dedications, and then I will usually journal, or meditate, or I'll pray as well. So, and it just really helps me function better from day to day. And I think the thing is, with those kind of things, people don't. You have, like anything in life, you have to keep at it, be consistent. A lot of people just give up on it because they think it's a load of crap, but it's actually not. Like, I think it helps me sleep better at night. I have some other business owners saying that I struggle to sleep. I'm anxious. I wake up at 3 a.m. and touch wood, hopefully it's not asleep again. But I think just having that time to offload from your mind, especially as business owners, we're very driven. There's a lot happening upstairs, to just like completely offload that on a journal. And I mean, I even say burn the journal afterwards, because it's so therapeutic to just sometimes just release something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a very good question here from Sean Lindicke, who's one of your awesome copywriters. A question, and she said, Rudy, you need to ask this question. So here we go.
Of course. I'm ready.
So she asked, as a South African expat turned trailblazing Australian business owner, can you share what your vision of success looks like?
Oh, wow. Thanks, Sean.
No pressure.
Oh, wow. Look, I think, people have different versions of success, and I think it does change as you go and grow on your business journey. For me, though, I think my version of success is, having built a business that not only serves my goals and my sort of wants from life, but also serves my clients, serves my team, and it just creates this abundance for everyone. No one goes without. Like, it's just really, it really serves everyone, and that's one of the things I've really loved about creating the podcast. It has really been, not only showcasing myself or Design Studio Perth, but also the wonderful legends that I've met along this 4-year journey, and just really serving others. So to me, that would be the ultimate, and probably having about 1,000 pairs of shoes. But yeah.
And of course, building that Design Studio Perth jet to just travel the world.
Yes, of course. Yes, that's one of the more materialistic goals. But yes, really designed a fantastic mock-up of the Design Studio Perth jet that's on my vision board. So yeah, watch this space. I can pick you up.
Awesome. Alrighty, so let's move on to maybe a little bit more, I want to say deeper questions.
Yeah, of course.
Not but deeper. Tracy, what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced in business, and how have you overcome it?
I think for me, one of the biggest challenges is bringing the right people on board. People, I've really underestimated, what it's like to actually have great team members on board who actually, their values are aligned. They want to be there. They have a very, they add to your business. And I think as business owners, we think no one can do it better than us. Yes, there might be certain things that we are great at, but I think just bringing on those right team members. I had a situation where I had a web designer who had a beautiful portfolio, and I didn't have a very rigorous recruitment process at the time. This was a few years ago. And it didn't work out because he didn't have a clue how to actually do any web design, or what he was actually doing. And it became a very costly exercise as well. But there was a lesson from that I needed to build up my recruitment process, fully vet everyone that I bring on board. Again, they don't teach you this stuff at art school. So yeah, we built out that process, working with Paul Klassen, and just really bringing on the right people. And I can hands down say, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the call with me, it has really changed my business and my life. It's freed up more of my time, and also there's a big trust factor, right? Because, your business is almost like an extra, your baby. So you are trusting someone with your business, with your clients, and yeah, so that's one of the biggest challenges. I think on a personal level, though, one of the challenges I've had is that a business starting a business will really impact every area of your life. And it's interesting because we see people that we admire and that we look up to, but we don't really ever stop and ask what sacrifices they've actually made to be in that, position that they actually are. So it has definitely impacted every area of my life. But, if you have big goals and you want to be successful and you want to, you have a bigger life calling, expect that to happen. But yeah, it will definitely throw you off your pedestal a number of times. But yeah, just getting back up and, just being persistent and giving things another go.
Yeah, what you said is so true, Tracy, and working with like-minded individuals. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, throughout the 2 years I've been with you, we've had graphic designers as well, looking at their portfolios, etc. Amazing. You actually asked or give them projects, it's a different story. That vetting process, I think, is super important. And you mentioned
definitely.
and I think he really helped you on that part of the journey as well, quite a lot.
Yes.
So the foundation of what is an A player, what is expected of them, and I think you've got a bunch of really great A players on board at this stage.
I do, yes. And obviously working with Paul has been a business changer as well, in terms of personal development, being a leader, being a business owner, and how it is that I actually show up every day. Because when I first started, I thought it would just be me for 5 years, ticking away behind my computer there and cranking out designs. But then, yeah, my mind's kind of open to having a team, delivering a better quality of service, delivering a higher standard of service, and actually, having attention to details, actually caring about what the service or what our clients are experiencing through working with Design Studio Perth.
Yeah. And Paul will send that little invoice just for that name mention over there.
Oh, dear.
So Tracy, tell me, how do you maintain authenticity and stay true to yourself in the face of external pressures and expectations? Because it really become, there's a lot of pressure on being this businesswoman that you are. How do you maintain authenticity in that kind of pressure?
I think for me, it was clearly defining my values. I'm a person of faith, and I think having that as my guiding star through my life has always really helped me navigate through that. I've never been one to follow a crowd. I think that's just lame. I've always, tried to be as authentic as what I can be. My mom will often remind me, always stay true to yourself, Trace. Don't just, fit the mold that you're supposed to. So I think, again, through my morning routine, should I say, and still having that spiritual side that connects me, really helps me to maintain that. But definitely values. If you haven't defined your values, how you're supposed to navigate anything in life. So that was a big eye opener for me. So, and again, when you've got your values, you have something that can, give you a guidance as to whether it could be like a networking event, or it could be you get invited out, or so it really gives you something to work from instead of just saying yes to everything all the time, which is who I used to be as well.
Yeah. And tell me, Tracy, obviously along this journey, from varsity all the way through to where you are at now, which is a fantastic spot. How do you make peace with the mistakes or wrong turns that you've taken in your life, or might have taken, rather?
So I have a bit of a sulk about it. Yes. So I usually have a bit of a sulk about it, stay in my shame cave. I don't stay there too long, because I think if you do stay there too long, you get stuck in there. And then I will usually journal about it, kind of process it. Unfortunately, we can't go back and change things.
Mhm.
But again, as long as you also forgive yourself for mistakes, no one's perfect, although we can
Mm.
try strive for it. No one is. So yeah, just forgive myself, journaling about it. And of course, trying not to repeat that same mistake again. And some people do. I do as well. And again, if we can learn from it, that's the main thing.
Yeah. And of course,
Hmm.
throwing a few chocolates here and there when we do have our down days.
Yes. Or an entire bag of Ghost Pops.
If everyone, Tracy does eat chocolates, even though she looks like a model. She does.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Really? No, you can make me the color of my lighting. But yes, a good chocolate Boost bar is my favorite. So
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, and Lindt chocolate as well.
Lindt chocolate. Which one of the Lindt chocolates, though? Because you do, I
I
think you
think
get.
it's called a touch of salt.
Oh, you like the
Yeah.
ones, the fancy ones. Oh, okay. I've never
Yeah.
tried that one, though, the one with salt.
Don't. It's addictive. You'll eat the whole slab.
They say that it enhances the chocolate taste.
It does. It's really good. Like I say, be careful. You will eat the whole slab.
Alrighty. So, Tracy, this is like a deep question, right? So, when was the
Yeah.
last you felt truly at peace with yourself, and what contributed to that feeling? We need
Um.
honesty.
Yeah, of course. I don't really think business owners ever really do feel at peace. I think we can, evoke peace in different ways through prayer, through meditation, through traveling. However, I do feel at peace in my calling now since starting Design Studio Perth and the podcast, and I really feel like I'm doing what I was born to do. For a while, I
Yeah.
didn't feel that way, and I think that's probably why I jumped around from being employed. 2 years was my max. So yeah, I think I'm at peace with where my life is going. The people that I am serving and helping in every way. But again, that is something that kind of fluctuates because there are times where I'm not at peace with myself, and then I will be. But I think that's also because we're in a state of constant growth.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Mm.
because we mentioned the word branding quite a lot,
Mm.
mind
Yeah.
giving us a short definition of what branding is, just for the viewers to understand. Tracy is in the branding space. What
Yeah, of
is?
course. Yeah, so branding, a lot of business owners get overwhelmed, think, oh my gosh, what is it? But essentially, it's an emotion that you're trying to evoke or a connection that you're trying to evoke in your ideal client or your audience. So if we think of Apple, BMW, there's a certain feeling because humans are emotional beings. There's a feeling that brand evokes within you, and you feel like you belong to something so much bigger than just
Yeah,
yourself, right? So in a nutshell, that's what branding is. Branding also gives us a bit like I was saying about my faith being my North Star, branding gives us a compass, a North Star from which to operate from. So, we obviously create the brand compass, but again, it's a foundation. So if you think of a house, if a house hasn't got a foundation, well, it's going to fall over, right? So if you've got that foundation in place, you can then build out your website, create your copywriting, spend $25,000 on an ad campaign. Because if you're spending 25 grand on an ad campaign, but you have no idea what your USP is, your unique selling point, well, the likelihood of that ad campaign giving the return that you want is very slim. So essentially, that money, time, energy, money goes down the drain.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Very. Thanks for that, Tracy.
That's
Right. So I
okay.
think we've covered most of the business and professional life questions.
Yeah,
Get over to the more fun questions.
of
But just
course.
just before we, um, for a person that wants to start their own business, what
Hmm.
advice would you give someone that's looking to start, let's say, a branding business?
Yeah, so I think regardless of whether it's branding or a normal, another business, I think it's always good to have a bit of a nest egg saved. Again, it's expensive to be alive. So, if you can try and freelance or have a side hustle for a year, whatever the case may be, and try and just save a nest egg because I think when you've got that sort of headspace where you've got a bit of cash saved up, it does allow you to do a bit more within your business and your decisions aren't driven by not having money. So
Yeah,
that would probably be my first bit of advice. The second bit of advice would be to work with a business advisor, work with a coach, work with a mentor, because that will not only impact your personal growth, but it will save you a lot of time in the lessons that you'll learn. So, for example, you could one lesson could take you, I guess, 5 or 10 years to learn. Whereas if you have an advisor who's had that experience or who has been where you want to go, they can help you not have to go through that same long experience. They can help you achieve those goals so much quicker. And then my third bit of advice would be to believe in something higher than yourself, whether that's God, Buddha, the universe, your family, whatever the case may be. Because on those days where it's really, really tough, and your mission's not showing mediocrity the middle finger, you need to have something that's going to drive you and not get you stuck in your shame cave.
Yeah, exactly. And for that first part, the little nest egg advice, would you say, because I also had my own business at some stage, and I exactly what you mean. I worked on about a 3 or 4 month sort of little nest egg, that if stuff hits the fan, there should have been a little beep there, but in any case,
I said when earlier.
that I would be covered for at least 3 to 4 months. Is that sort of, the amount of nest egg you say a person should have?
Yeah, I would say so. Again, it depends on your situation. If you've got a mortgage, if you're renting, if you've got kids, if you've got fur babies. But I'd probably say that's a good guide. At least have some sort of cushioning that you can kind of fall back on. But again, if you're driven and you want to, you want to be successful, the likelihood is that nest egg will actually grow as you go. So you won't have to really fall back on it. But it is good to have just from a mental well-being point of view.
Right. So in retrospect, is there anything you wish you had done differently when starting out?
I would have probably liked to start sooner. However, I do believe that the universe's time is always perfect, because the experience and the personal growth journey, and I think also who I've become through having a business has been really what's an improvement. So I guess I wish I had started earlier. That would probably be the one thing. Do you mind to repeat the question again, Rudy?
In retrospect, is there anything you wish you had known or done differently with starting out? And what you said is already true, but I do think you needed those life experiences. Working for a firm and then trying to have your own business and then going back and I think you needed those experiences in order to get where you are now.
Yeah, of course. And I also probably would have looked at who and where I was spending most of my time, because essentially we become whoever we hang out with, right? So I think I probably would have had friend cleanse sooner.
Right. So let's move on to fun questions, fun and personal.
Sure.
Are you ready? Right. So outside of work, some of your hobbies or interests that help you unwind. Now, you did mention you meditate, which is great. You love. Anything else that we can add to the list?
Oh, wow. I really enjoy Audible. I haven't really got much time to read. So I love listening to self-help books, business books. I've become a runner as of late, but just really making that time to work on my health and fitness, because that really does impact how I show up every day. I love food. I love going to restaurants, spending time with family and friends. That really brings me a lot of joy. And also walking my dogs and traveling. I love traveling.
You recently completed a marathon, right?
A halfie.
A half. Okay, let's just get that clear. But it's still, that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, I run to the kitchen lunchtime and I'm already tired. Not that I'm overweight, but you know what I mean.
Thanks, Judy. Yeah.
How was that experience?
Well, firstly, I've always told myself that I wasn't a runner, but I think that's one of the things is that we need to change the story that we tell ourselves. So 6 months ago, I probably couldn't even run to my post box, but my friend Mel is a runner and she encouraged me to come to park run. So that was like, it's a 5K run. Of course, Tracy went guns blazing and overdid it. So I got cankles and my legs swelled up. Great. But then I had a break and then slowly got back into it. So I did 1K, 2K, and then I did 5, and then just slowly increased. And then that half marathon run that I did was just on a Sunday, because I've registered for one in September. Just proving to myself that I could actually do it. And yeah, I'll be honest, I surprised myself because I didn't think I had it within me.
And now you do it almost every weekend, I guess, because when I go on
Um,
Instagram, you just see Tracy running. Like, calm down.
well, every Sunday I try and do a long run. So we usually do park run on a Saturday. It's just a 5K.
Yeah,
And then on Sundays I'll do a bit of a longer run, and then I usually run like on a Tuesday and a Thursday. But running is something I've really grown to enjoy and love, and it's almost like a bit of a meditative state. Like if I'm feeling unsettled or I just want to get some fresh air. It's actually
yeah.
really beneficial. And I never thought I'd say that because I used to hate running. It's, always, oh, I've got knee problems and whatever else. But yeah, it's been really great. I love it.
Yeah, and I think was it last year or earlier this year that you completed a burpee challenge? I think I saw something along those lines on Instagram. Tell us about that, please.
Oh my goodness. So I belonged to F45, and then they would do these like random challenges. And yeah, it
Yeah,
was a burpee challenge. So because I'm very competitive and I'll probably push myself to the extremities,
yeah,
it ended up just being myself in the sky. And yeah, we got to the stage. Like it started, we had to do like, I think it was backwards from 20. So 20, 19, 18. And yeah, because I'm a bit relentless and competitive, I just literally pushed myself. And it felt like eventually when we got to the end of it, like it just felt like my legs and my arms like flopping out because I just, but it's
I hate
crazy, right? Your
burpees.
mind, like I was just so determined to not let this guy win. And then we came tight, so that was fine. But yeah, I felt it the next day. I could barely walk.
Yeah, I absolutely hate burpees. That's the one exercise that I want to swap out every time I see it on my trainer's
Really?
workout. I don't like burpees, but in any case, it's one of the best exercises. So I guess I
Yeah,
just need to get used to it.
it
Um,
definitely is. Yeah.
right. So here's an interesting question, and it's
Mm,
back to branding. If you had to design a brand identity for a famous celebrity or public figure, who would it be, and
mm.
what would you incorporate into their brand? Ooh.
Wow. I wanted to say Leonardo DiCaprio, but that's probably from a teenage crush. So it would probably be Lady Gaga. I think she is someone, yeah, I think she's someone who's just so creative, so authentic. She's had quite a major journey as well, but still shows up and doesn't care what people think
Mm.
uh, as well. So I think it would be her. She's very creative. I think you could do some cool brand assets. Just such a creative, and I think she's someone who really embraces, branding and creativity and being different, not just I want, this
Yeah,
boring sort of color palette. So I think you could really have a lot of fun with that one.
yeah. Showing mediocrity the middle finger. I think if we had to put that in a picture, it would be Lady Gaga, 100%.
Probably, yeah.
Um, so, okay, here's a fun one. If you could teleport to any place in the world right now for a
Yeah.
spontaneous vacation, where would you go, and what would you do there?
I always wanted to go to the Caribbean. I
Okay.
think I would just love to actually chill. Just chill on the beach, read, relax, not have to be somewhere, not have to be doing something. I always get caught up in all the doing, right? So it'd just be nice to kind of chill. I'd probably get bored after a few days, but it's such a beautiful place. So I think that's probably where I'd go.
Yeah, one of the things that I've always wanted to do, and it's on my bucket list. I don't know where in the world you can do it, but zip lining through a forest.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
uh, just and I'm afraid of heights, super super scared of heights, but just I've seen it on TV. It's just zipping through the trees. I think that's super cool. Something I want to do. So it's on my bucket
Yeah.
list. To find a
Awesome. Yeah,
place.
it does look amazing. I think they
Yeah.
did in
So
Bali. I'm not actually sure.
imagine doing that in Bali. That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
I know they've got
Um,
like a very big swing there as well.
swing, really?
Yeah, so there's like massive swing, and then it just like swings out. You go into the like bushes and stuff, and then it like swings out. And I think they do the zip lining as well on the Flying Fox.
Oh, that is amazing. Have you
Mm.
done that before?
No, not in Bali. I haven't. No.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's on my bucket list,
Yeah,
any case. So when you've
yeah,
got your bed ready, just pick me up, and then just like loop around to Bali,
no
have,
problem.
and then we can get back to business.
Of
Anyway,
course.
is there something about you that very few people know? Now, this might be personal.
Um,
You don't need to get personal, but what don't people
yeah.
know?
I guess besides my shoe addiction and fetish, I was an air hostess for 2 years. So after my degree, I flew with an airline as a cabin crew member, and that was I had the best time for 2 years. Flew as a cabin crew, did my management upgrade, and I think it just really taught me so much about humans, about the fragility of being a human, and so many different experiences. Like I had a lady who had Tourette's on board. I had a very young guy have a stroke on board. People trying to shag in the bathroom. All of it, like it's like it's real, right? And then you see the cabin crew, and then it's like Bold and the Beautiful, where pilot will have his wife and he's got a girlfriend, and they're both having babies. So it's literally like Days of Our Lives. So yeah, I had an absolute joy. I loved flying. Got to see a lot of the world that way, and just got to experience something completely different, because I've been studying for about 5 years at that time. So yeah, hostess with the mostess.
And did you only fly in Australia, or did you fly to other countries as well?
So it was Auckland based, so we only did domestic and trans-Tasman. It was the second ground school I think I was a part of, because Jetstar just opened there. But then what was nice is that we got staff travel with all the, I think it was the Star Alliance Airlines. So went to Hawaii, got to do a lot more international flights as well. And like going domestic was so cheap. Like, you get a lot of free tickets, and then you get discounts at all the hotels, at all the, like if there's any recreational stuff you want to do. It was really, really so much fun. I highly recommend, if someone wants to do it, definitely do it. It's really great.
It's awesome. Well, Tracy, thanks for answering all these questions. I know some of them were personal, but I want to end off this questionnaire with your legacy. How do you envision the future of your business and the legacy you hope to leave in the branding industry?
Yeah, so for me, I think it's it is having a team of creatives that by working or being a part of the Design Studio Perth brand, they feel fulfilled, because we spend most of our lives at work, and not only for my team, I think also for my clients, where it all works reciprocal, right? So your team's thriving, your clients are thriving. I know as a creative how hard it is to get into the space. So I've built Design Studio Perth to be a place where creatives, can embrace being who they are and really thrive. Of course, be professional, but also it's a place that it helps our clients reach their goals, helps them grow. Does that answer your question?
100%. Any achievements you'd like to share with the viewers?
Probably just surviving for 4 years. I've heard if you get to, what was that, sorry?
Massive achievement, and I applaud you for that. You've really,
Shem, thank you.
Quite a few tough times in business, and you've just prevailed. You've just risen above everything.
Thank you. Yeah, I think reaching that 4-year milestone is really great. In terms of other achievements, again, just building Design Studio Perth. And what's been interesting, Design Studio Perth has kind of evolved from when I first started. So it kind of I guess that's the beauty of having a business, right? Putting in the hard work to actually make it something better, make it something that is a well-oiled machine, and that kind of serves everyone at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, when I started at DSP, it was already amazing. You've all the systems and structures and everything you had in place at that time, and comparing to what you have now, it's blown my mind. So you can be really, really proud. No jokes. And I'm sure Paul Klassen is also extremely proud of you.
Shem, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So let's end off this questionnaire with one final big question, right?
Of course.
How do you, as Tracy Fryer, want to be remembered by those closest to you?
I think for me, it would be great if someone remembered me. Well, to be honest, no one's going to really remember me in 3 generations' time. But if someone was to remember me, it would be that she added value to my life. And the second one for me would be that she honored her word. She didn't say one thing and do another thing. Or, there's so many agencies out there and businesses that they promise their clients so much and they don't deliver. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and there was a story about Florence Nightingale. Anyway, she felt called to help the sick, and the sick who were very poor. Long story short, she realized that they were actually eating a lot of moldy bread, a lot of food that was off, and she obviously helped and served in that way. And I think the thing is, there's so many businesses that are feeding business owners moldy bread. And I just really want to change that because I am so passionate about this space. I want to help business owners grow, not promise them the world and, there's a premium dollar on it and they get no return whatsoever for their investment. And there's so much of that happening out there at the moment. It's actually quite scary. So just really want to change that in the space. And really just, honor a business owner's life and their business, because at the end of the day, it's their passion. Like the sacrifice that they've made to have that business is massive.
Yeah,
so I really want to, and it's important that my team does the same. We honor that business, we honor that business owner's journey, and really help them take their business to the next level.
Yeah. Well, from my side, I can absolutely vouch for you as a boss. Now
Thanks, Rudy. Oh, yeah.
You like being called a colleague, which is not true. In any case, so absolutely amazing, boss. I know because I compare people quite a lot, and if I compare my current situation with DSP with all the previous firms and corporates that I've worked with, there's such a big difference.
I appreciate that.
What I've been taught, on how to do business, how to work with clients, how to respond to emails. I've learned stuff that is just next level, and it's really, really amazing. That's all because of you, and you can be really proud, really, really proud. And congrats on the 4 years for DSP.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you so much. I know I'm a bit OCD when it comes to structure, but again, it just really helps everyone's life be a lot easier. And love having you as a part of the team. And thank you again for stepping up today and interviewing me. For our listeners, actually Rudy's first time, and you've done a great job. Really great to see you, Rudy.
Thanks so much.
Alrighty. Thanks so much for your time, Rudy. Enjoy.
Pleasure, Tracy. Bye.